So there have been many great pinball machines through the years, but this ranks as probably the best, if not the best conceived pinball machine of all time. And it got people so excited about pinball again, it almost started a new renaissance of what he called TV and movie adaptations. Of course, it's the Twilight Zone pinball machine. A game so effective, if you start to conquer it, the sound goes up. And it was thrown out of a Hells Angels biker bar because, according to the lady there, was playing it too loud. Now, this wide-body pinball machine, designed by Pat Lawler, based on a TV series of the same name, was released in 1993 by Midway under the Bally label. The game is the first of the WMS Superpin line of wide-body games. Star Trek: The Next Generation and Indiana Jones: The Pinball Adventure was released later in 1993, which means the multiple player sound and special effects almost 3D. Now, following the huge success of the Adams Family pinball game, Midway gave Lawler full creative control of the design of the next game, and the result is an unusually complex machine. The game took nearly 2 years of design. Designers of the game had flippers that aren't flippers, pinballs that aren't pinballs, and a clock that's not a clock. Among its special features are a working gumball machine that holds 3 balls and can dispense them and receive others during play. There's a working 12-hour analog clock and display the current time and function as a timer between certain rounds. The power ball, the big draw of the game, is a white ceramic ball 20% lighter than the other steel balls in the machine and unaffected by magnets. You can either play by being served to the plunger, ejected from the lock, or dispensed from the gumball machine. While it's on the field, certain scoring rules have changed. During the prototype, the stages of design, different colored balls were considered, but when it's decided to use ceramic balls, they were only available in blue or white, and the blue ball was not particularly visible against the playfield, which was immediately apparent while tested in a whitewater prototype. The power field is a triangular mini playfield whose underside contains magnets that propel the ball instead of flippers. In addition to adapting the theme music from the original TV show, the game's main background music is the great interpretation of this 82 song Twilight Zone by Golden Earring. Tim Kitzrow provided a voice for Rod Serling. The game was originally supposed to be the first game to use Williams Midway DCS sound system, but because the DCS board was still in development, when the game was released, it used a Yamaha soundboard. Now, in the center of the Twilight Zone playful artwork is a door similar to the one shown in one of the TV's opening sequences. The outside edge consists of 14 panels, indicating various awards that are available for the player to collect. Some of the panels start timing modes that can be stacked, made to run concurrently, while other panels simply light shots or award points. The ultimate goal of the game is light all 14 panels and start Lost in the Zone, the game's wizard mode represented by the doorknob. The lights in the central portion of the door indicate the player's progress toward earning locks to start multi-ball play. Now, the game provides several ways to light door panels. Shoot the slot machine when lit, shoot the player piano when lit, or defeat the power in the mini playfield. Shooting the slot machine awards a random unlit panel, while the other two methods award a panel that is currently flashing, rotated by the pop bumpers. The slot machine follows 2 rules in choosing the door panel to be awarded. Now, the flashing panel will not be given unless it's the only one the player has yet to collect. The light extra ball was not to be given unless it's either the last panel remaining or the one not flashing and the players are 2 panels away from completing the set. Shooting the player piano when it's unlit awards as odd change, a random number of points between 10 and 10 million. Now, hits to the 3 pop bumpers add to the town square value, which can be collected by shooting through them to the dead-end lane. Shooting the lane when it lit scores double points and advances the player towards various awards. Bumper values can be increased by making a skill shot or by shooting the camera when unlit. The latter shot can be accessed by raising the upper left flipper to shoot the ball into a sinkhole behind it. The door panels are as follows: the 10 million panel, the light gumball panel, Town Square Madness, Fast Lock, an AM radio plays clips from Pat Lawler's previous pinball machines, reverse chronicle launcher, and starts a tree ball multi-ball in which each shot the lock awards the value again. Super skill shot, super slot, light extra ball, the camera, the spiral, clock millions, battle of power, greed, hitchhiker, and clock chaos. Now, during normal single ball play, the right ramp can be lit to play battle of power by the following means: Collect the Battle of Power door panel, collecting set numbers of 8-tracker pickups, collecting your second spiral award, and collecting the red award on a super skill shot. Now, there's numerous multi-ball modes. There's 4. Standard multi-ball, Powerball Mania, tree ball, Fast Log multi-ball, and Lost in its own 6-ball. I've done that a few times. It's pretty freaky, only 45 seconds. The game is also a buy-in location in commercially released machines. Now, the buy-in button located in the front of the cabinet, you can use the credit for an additional ball instead for a new full game. Now, TEDS's role in the game was to find and implement bug fixes. He also implemented minor improvements and features in their CD-ROM while making any changes. Now, in addition to the callouts noted about, there's a plastic top right of the machine where a route between locations, referencing all of Pat Lawler's previous games, going Bonsai Run, Earthshaker, Whirlwind Funhouse, and the Addams Family. Now, the game includes countless references to the TV series. Many are visually shown in the playfield or in the DMD animations. The door from the opening credits takes up most of the center of the playfield, and the sections are labeled with each of the game's modes. The blonde-haired artist mannequin for the opening credits appears on a left slingshot. The Zodiac clock from the opening credits appears as an actual functional clock in the playfield, which can show the current time and also act as a timer for various modes. Now, an image of Henry Bemis from the episode Time Enough at Last appears next to the slot machine center hole. Now, the hitchhiker for the episode of the same name appears on the playfield, and in DMD animations, and one of the door panel awards is named after him. A slot machine, also known as a one-armed bandit, used in the Fever and the Prime Mover, appears on a playfield labeling a cellar hole that triggers a slot machine animation on the DVD and starts a random mode. The camera from a most unusual camera is depicted in front of the cellar hole behind the upper left flipper that can give various awards, but shows what the next award will be before it is given. The tiny spaceman from the Invaders appeared in the DMD animation for Clock Chaos. The shoot again prompt for an extra ball in the match sequence. The radio from Static is referenced in the sound effects and DMD animation for the first lock where you have Countdown. The player piano from the Barry Morris episode of Pan in the House labels a cellar hole that starts modes. Taki Tina from the episode Living Doll appears in the Extra Doll DMD animations. And Robbie the Robot, who appeared in the episode's Uncle Simon, the brain-centered Whipples, is featured on a playfield in a DMD animation. Now, various sound effects are taken from the episodes listed above, and several quotes from Serling's voiceovers are featured, including "You knock this door with the key of imagination," and "Dance with the devil at your own risk" in the Twilight Zone if the player tilts. Additionally, many more Twilight Zone references appeared at backbox artwork, including masks from the episode The Mask, a street sign from The Monsters That Do in Maple Street, the baseball cap and jersey with letter Z in both are hanging near the door, a reference to the Hoboken Zephyrs for the Monte Casey. A bomber jacket with Suicide King and a 9 of Hearts is hanging next to the door, a reference to King 9 will not return. A 64 US quarter standing on end is a reference for a penny for your thoughts. A flag for the 7 Cavalry references 7 is made up of phantoms. A life preserver with the words Queen of Glasgow is hanging in the upper left corner, references Judgment Night. A Santa Claus stocking cap sits atop a mannequin head in the upper right corner and represents the Knight of the Meek. 2 of the most prominent features of the game, the Gumball Machine and the Power, do not appear in the TV series at all. Now, after a successful Kickstarter to raise funding for the third-party license, Twilight Zone released for the Pinball Arcade for several platforms on February 5th, 2013. Roger Sharp, who negotiated the license for the physical table, also assisted with this. The table was delisted, the loss of the Williams license on June 30th, 2008, so it lasted for 25 years on the market. The table was released in Pinball FX on April 13, 2023. Now, this is the best pinball machine I ever played, and I played machine going back to the Gottliebs and the Ballies of the 60s and 70s, because it's such a tribute to Twilight Zone, and you become more of a Twilight Zone every time you play it. But just do me a favor, don't play in a biker bar, because when you're a journalist playing pinball machine at Twilight Zone at a biker bar before your event starts, it might be dangerous. So that's a story on our Pulp Tales, the behind-the-scenes story of the Twilight Zone, the pinball machine. And if you can find it, I think it's valued like probably $27,000 or $35,000. A bargain at second prices. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here with our